Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lii Borossy. In today's video we will be going over my 36-week pregnancy. I have a feeling that this could be the last one, and even if it's not, it's very close to the end. So I have a lot of things to share with you guys, and I'm gonna start with my symptoms. And basically my symptoms is the same as last week. So if you want a full detail, in-depth explanation of all the details or the symptoms, you can go back to my 35-week pregnancy update and basically listen what I have to say there, because nothing really has changed. The only thing that has changed is that my Braxton Hicks contraction has intensified and they are now much more frequent. I would say that I'm getting like my Braxton Hicks contractions almost every 15 or 20 minutes or so during the day, and during nighttime I usually don't have as many, but they are there. And last night, which was my last day of week 36, so currently I'm in my week, or currently in week 37, but anyway, so last night I actually thought he was gonna come for a while there, because the contractions were so intense and I had so much period cramps and just all the symptoms that labor was approaching. And I'm feeling very, very weak today, like not weak in the sense that I'm not able to do things, but I feel like if I do try and just do my normal tasks around the house, that I will just provoke the labor to start. So I believe that I kind of put myself on modified bed rest just because I don't really want him to come yet. If he can stay in until the new year, that would be the perfect thing for us. I have mentioned before that here in Spain, where I'm currently living, the rules are that the mother gets 16 weeks of maternity leave. I will not be receiving anything because I'm not on any contract. I lost my job because of COVID, and they were cutting down staff, so I haven't been on a contract for a while now, which means that I don't have the right to maternity leave, which sucks. But Caesar has the right to paternity leave because he's working and providing for us. And if the baby is born during 2020, he will get 3 months of paternity leave. But if the baby is born from 2021, the rules change and he will get 4 months of paternity leave, and obviously that's what we want. And the due date for this little guy is on January 13, so would be perfect if he could hold off until like January 2nd or something before he comes. That would be the perfect timing. But obviously you cannot plan that kind of things. And last night I was saying to Caesar, it's not, he said, try to not make him come, try to keep him inside. And I said, well, it's not like I can do this, like hold my breath and he's not gonna come. And I said, I can cross my legs and hope for the best, but if he wants to come, he will come. Yeah. So that's that. And we did have my last midwife appointment during week 36, and I shared it with you guys over in my last vlog that I posted on Wednesday. The same day I'm filming this, I posted that baby watch vlog. So if you're curious how the appointment was, you can go ahead and check out that video. We will bring you inside of the appointment, so to speak, and we will be listening to baby's heartbeat and that kind of thing. But basically what happened was that we had a long conversation about the upcoming birth and my options and that kind of thing. Caesar had a chance to ask a few questions that he had because he was allowed in this time, and basically he wanted to know if he's allowed in for the delivery. And as of right now, yes, he's allowed in. The protocol is that when I go into labor, if I go in naturally, like spontaneously, I will have to go to the hospital and enter through the emergency entrance stating that I'm in labor, and they will take me into, I don't know if it's called triage or what it's called, but like a first step before I get admitted. And in that room I will be doing the COVID test and when the results come back, if they come back negative, Caesar is allowed to come in with me if I am in fact in active labor, if I understand correctly. But if I test positive, then, knock on wood, I will not, then he will not be allowed to come in with me, and that's a little bit scary. I don't suspect that I have anything, but you know, it's obviously a scary thought, and anything can happen until then. So trying to not see as many people, trying to stay inside most of the time, but you never know. So yeah, that's a little bit scary. And I told her that this time around I want to have the option with the epidural, because the last time I was asking for it and they basically were stalling to the point where we didn't have time to admit it, or whatever it's called, like they didn't have time to give it to me before it was time to push. And this time around I want to invite that, and I think that my strength this time is that I can be more vocal, and I can obviously tell them more about my history and that kind of thing. And I know that I dilate very fast. I did dilate 7 centimeters with Natalie in under 1 hour, so I'm sure that what happened last time was a mix of like miscommunication and the change of shift. So we had new staff coming in, and also being like a first time mom, they always think that it's gonna take a long time, but in my family our history says that we have very quick labor and deliveries. That's why they are so painful basically. But when I came in with Natalie, my water had been breaking at home, and when I came in I was at 3 centimeters, so technically I was not in active labor. And we came in 5 o'clock in the morning, and at 7 o'clock they checked me and I was still at 3 something, and they had a shift change, and we had asked the one working with us that I wanted to have an epidural, so she did blood work, and she said we need to wait for the blood work to come back before giving it to you, but you should wait a little bit longer before getting it because you are not currently in active labor. Okay, so we were waiting, and then when the new midwife came in, that was later the one who delivered Natalie with us, or the doctor and the midwife, she checked me and she said that by that point I think I was in active labor. And she said, so we were gonna get the guy who's gonna give you the epidural, and he came and he tried to give it to me and he was not successful, and in that moment she could see like a change in me, and by this time it was nearly 8 o'clock. And she said, do you feel like you have the urge to push? And I said yes, and she said, let me check you, and she said, yes, you are at 10, fully dilated, so let's have this baby, like we don't have time for the epidural now. And she basically told the guy to get out the room, and Caesar obviously remembers all of these things, and that's why he asked now during this appointment, like, what should we do? And she just recommended me that with my history to not wait too long before going into the hospital for this delivery, because might end up like history repeats itself. And honestly I think, because they're all telling me this is gonna go so much faster the second time, the labor and delivery is gonna go so much faster, everything is faster the second time around. And I'm like, okay, so how am I gonna have the time to first of all go in, have a COVID test, wait for the results to come back, then have Caesar come in, then get a room, and then ask for an epidural, get the epidural, which usually takes a few minutes or it takes a while to get it, and they need to do blood work and that kind of thing before pushing. I think that we're not gonna have time. So I'm mentally trying to prepare myself for a natural birth, but I know that I might want an epidural, so we shall see. Fingers crossed that everything goes smoothly, and fingers crossed that maybe my water does not break this time. It would be nice that if I could, like, I don't know, have that happen later on during the labor process, because it's so much more painful when the water breaks. The contractions are horrible. And after we had that conversation, she weighed me and she told me that I had in total gained 10 kilograms. So according to her, I have not gained as much as I thought I did. which is fine. She said baby is putting on what he needs, and you don't have to worry about that, so that's good. And she also checked my blood pressure, which was fine. I don't remember what it was. And all my blood work came back with the results, and my urine test that I did previous week or 2 weeks earlier, showing that everything is good. The only thing I'm low on is iron, and she asked me, did you stop taking your iron supplements? and actually I did for a few days because it was not settling well with my stomach. And she said, try and take one every other day at least. And I said, okay, I will do that. No, and then we had to do the strep B test, which is a little bit uncomfortable. And I was joking, saying like, now the fun tests are starting. Like in the end of the pregnancy, all your dignity just goes away because of all the horrible things that you have to check and do. But second time around, you honestly don't care as much. The first time you will feel maybe more uncomfortable, and like it's not so fun to be so like vulnerable. But she was fast and everything was good, and we listened to the heartbeat with the Doppler, and he was doing just fine. Still head down, and we're just basically waiting for his arrival. She also gave us this little goodie bag, or like a welcome box. Normally you get this in the beginning of the pregnancy here, but basically it just has like samples of various products that you could need, and I'm so happy because it like the diaper rash cream, and that's the only thing I was missing, so I was super excited for that. But yeah, this is one of my last pregnancy updates, so please stay tuned for upcoming labor and delivery vlogs, and just keep your fingers crossed that he stays in until at least January 1st and then we shall see what happens. I will end this video with a bump shot, and I will send you much love, and I will see you guys very soon.
You say take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night. When I close my eyes, I see trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.